So now we're going to add email to our application. There's following, follow, response stuff, but you know, you can just get it from what I did. Some of our later stuff may use it, but I don't know, it's really going to use it too much. So email. The App Engine comes with the capability to send and even receive email. And that's really useful because often in a web app we want to send somebody an email. For example, after they sign up, we might want to send them a confirmation email to confirm that their email address works, that kind of stuff. And so let's look at how we do that. It's actually pretty easy. So I'm going to create a new app here called Mail Example. And we are going to need an app YAML. It's an App Engine app. I'm just going to copy this one. Take out the admin bit. Okay. And so we need to create a handler. So let's just do that. Okay, so now we have our basic page. And so the first thing we're going to get is the context. That's pretty typical. And if you look in the example, it's this mail package. So the mail package we can get in Godot. App Engine, it's in here, mail. So provides a means of sending emails from an App Engine application. And basically we're going to make this struct, this mail message struct, give it a sender to a subject and a body. Kind of funny this isn't called from, but anyway. And then we just call send, and it will send the email. It's pretty easy. So let's just copy what they have here. This we're going to have to change. So the options for the sender, they say there's 3 you can do. The easiest is to send it from the currently logged in user. So let's try that.
Now, did you come up with that example?
No, I copied it from the docs. And so this is the wrong user. All right, so that's let's walk through this real quick. So I sent it to whoever I'm logged in as, their email address. And that's who's going to send it. And then the 2 is whoever you want to send it to. This is pretty standard email stuff. You can have a list of strings, so you can send it to multiple people. Subject to subject, body to body. And then you say send, and it returns possibly an error. So let's see what that does. Okay, we'll clear that, and we'll go to localhost 80. All right, what happened? What happens is it logs it on the dev server. Okay? It does that because you can't really send mail from your local machine. Though it does tell you you're not going to be sending out real email. If you have SendMail installed, you can use that. I think there's also a way to make it use an SFTP server. But we don't need to send mail from our local machine. This is good enough to tell us it would have sent it had I been running on Apple. It would have sent to Juliet or whatever, that name. So let's see if it actually works. I don't know who this is, so let's not send to them because that would be bad. I'll send to my email. I guess I can just put my name there. So now when I hit refresh, I get send an email. I'm going to change something. I'm just going to change the URL. The reason I did that is when you hit slash, you get like the favicon and all that. I don't want to send 2 emails, okay? So it's just going to send, if I go to slash send mail, it'll send this email. Everybody following?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try uploading that. Whatever. Somewhere in here I have, there it is. Astute curve, 100 each. Okay, and then I'll go to slash send mail. So I'm just going to my hotspot. Just going to log in as me. Bam. Now am I going to get an email? Theoretically, it should have sent an email. And sure enough, I got an email. So, I don't know if I want to show you that or not. Whatever. So it does actually send emails, and it sends whatever you put in there, and it sent, the from address was from me, because I put that in as my from address. Okay? So the sender was me, and I sent it to me. And so I got the message. It's really simple, right? You can send emails. So the rules are you can send emails as the person who's currently logged in. Okay? You can send emails as a special AppSpot mail name.
What's that?
So these are the security things. So the currently logged in user, you're allowed to send as them. You're allowed to send any email in the form, anything at appname.appspotmail.com or anything at apps-alias. So you can use in my case, the astute curve 182 .appspotmail.com. So I could use that as a sender, okay? Or you can do this, add it to this list of users. You're not allowed to send as anybody else, okay? It makes sense, right? You shouldn't be able to just send to somebody else because that's weird, right? And so typically we either have essentially a service account, like from the name of your app, and you'd use this AppSpot mail if you want to do that. Or you're sending email on behalf of somebody, and then you use their email. Okay? But otherwise, we just build the structure. That's the only thing we have to do. And we can send email. Yeah?
If this is published at domain, you could have, no reply at mydomain.com.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know if you can use a custom domain. They say something about how that doesn't work.
No reply at domain.com.
You have to have it on Google Apps.
Right. Yeah.
So you'd have to sign up for Google Apps, which is what gives you Gmail and all that stuff. But if you didn't do that, in other words, if you had the domain and all you did was like what I did originally, when I showed custom domain, I would not be able to use that domain. Because it's not the Google Apps domain. I have to add it to Google Apps to have it managed by Google Apps, and then I can use it. They tell you all that. So maybe that would be the typical, if you're making a real business, you'd buy a domain from Google, you'd host it with Google Apps, so you can get Gmail and Google Docs and all that stuff. And then you'd create an app engine, and then you could use it. But if you already had a domain, it wasn't on Google Apps, you wouldn't be able to use it.
At that point, you have officially drinking the Google Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you're sort of all in on the Google. There are other options for email. I mean, there's a lot of products out there that can do email instead of Google. And Google doesn't prevent you from using them. And so you could use either of those if you wanted. And I think they even mention in here SendGrid, which is one of these places. Because there's like limits on how many emails you can send and stuff. So if you're like a serious email company, you wouldn't use App Engine probably.
There is 25,000 emails a month.
If you're planning on sending more emails than that, maybe you should do something else. That's what they're telling you. Okay, so, but for our purposes, this is great, right? We can make our app use email. Any questions about email? Okay, so there's a second part of email, which is you can actually make your app receive messages, which is kind of cool. And so the way this works is you add this to your app YAML, and then you create a special handler for _AH mail, and it will call this handler whenever an email is sent to that address. And so anytime he sends an email to your appspotmail.com address, it gets sent to this incoming mail handler. And so you could do something cool with that. I mean, what you wanted to do with an incoming email, I don't know. But, you could think up ways to do it. But, just wanted to mention that. And then they have some other things here. They can do attachments and stuff. This could be a big deal. Email kind of is painful. If you send emails too often, if too many users who receive your emails think they're spam, if there's so many things that can go wrong, and this is one of them, the bouncing. So, you know, it's one of these things where it's like, oh, it's really easy, and then you use it and you'll discover that it's not easy at all because of all the headaches it causes. You know, when people no longer receive your emails because your domain name was flagged as spammer, and, but we don't have to worry about that. So what we're going to do, the task for this morning and this afternoon, is I'll upload this example, but sending email very easy. What we want to do is anytime somebody mentions you, you send an email to the person mentioned with the message. And so an mention is like when I go to my, when I go here and I tweet and I say, hey, say @Todd, what's up? And that would send a message. It's just tweeting, public, everybody sees it, but since it has @Todd mentioned, and @Todd gets every follow. So if your username is with the @ before it, inside of the tweet, then you want to receive that tweet via email. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah?
Is there a way to get rid of, if you go back to the email example we had, to get rid of I think there's a key on there?
I don't know. That's a good question. You mean all this gobbledygook?
Yeah.
Probably not. Because that's who it's sent from. If you use a custom domain, it might say the custom domain instead. I don't know. I don't think you can get rid of that. Because that's who actually sent it. But nobody cares. When you get emails from companies, they always have that in there.
No, there are technical ways to do it. You know, you can run your own SMTP server, not on App.
Yeah, I'm saying using the
Can't
admin,
do
you
it on
can't get rid of that.
Although, like you said, maybe if you authenticated your own domain, it would say from the domain.
Yeah, but when you get an email from Facebook, it has something very similar. gobbledygook.facebook.com. Have you ever guys looked at the Facebook emails? See, nobody pays attention to this. Anyway. So yeah, our task is to add, if you are mentioned in a tweet, send the message to them over email, right? So basic thinking here is, in your thing that adds tweets handler, just look for the @whatever. If you find it, then also add a little bit of code so you send them an email, okay? Hopefully not too hard. Everybody understand? Any questions? Okay, so that's our task for the morning here. Oh, and if you think that's just trivial, do this one.